My very first semester at Shasta College, I ended up on academic probation. Hey everybody, it's your last day of class. It's Thursday morning here in the UK, and I'm just in my home, and I wanted to do a final video with a little bit of coffee with you, and was thinking of you all finishing this class. And I developed this class. I'm proud that I developed this class very much from scratch, and it's not an easy class. This is 8 weeks of condensed work, but also with your own lives and everything around that. You're in this class, and we are on the last day, and you're finishing it. And I think I want you to take a moment to just put the history stuff aside, and just be proud of that and remember that. As I was thinking about this stuff and thinking where you're at and how you're finishing this class, and you've got the exam, and it's not an easy exam, but I know you can do it. And I was thinking, I was at Shasta College myself. That's where I started off everything. And my very first term, some of you are going to be walking out of this class with an A and a B. And some of you might have normally got a D or an F in a history class, and you're walking out of this class with a C, and that's a great accomplishment. And some of you are going to get that D and F. And I just want to say to those people getting those Ds and Fs, or the grade that you just not quite wanting, because of stuff that came up during this 8 weeks that made it tough or whatever. My very first semester at Shasta College, I ended up on academic probation. Straight out of high school, had to learn, didn't have the right skill set in higher education, in college and university, and it was a struggle, man. It was a struggle to learn to be a student. And I had a history class, in fact, History 2, which is a class I now teach. In fact, I write curriculum for a Bill Gates program that's changing how high schools in the US look at world history. And I say that because my first semester at Shasta, I took History 2, World History, and I ended up with a D in that class. I failed it. I could put blame with everything going on in my life, and there was a lot of stuff going on at that time. But when it boils down to it, I just didn't really have the skill set or the desire to be what I needed to do and to work as hard as I needed to work at that time. And I needed to get that D at that time and be on academic probation. And my academic counselor is one that many of you probably work with, especially in sports. And if you're in sports, you know what I'm talking about. And I talked to him about this. I found that piece of paper, and I said, look at this, man. This was, over a decade ago now. And it was my first experience of higher education, getting a D in a history class that I now teach, that I now write curriculum for. And I think I just want to, I wanted to share that with you because, that's something I think about actually quite often. Because, now I'm doing some stuff. I'm teaching here at the University of Exeter. I'm teaching history classes here. I'm teaching you all. And I remember myself being in there, and I remember myself having to actually fail a history class for me to really realize and push myself against the wall of what changes I needed to do and to continue making those changes. That was a part of who I was then, and that's pushed me and motivated me, and never wanted to kind of be in that situation again, has led me to where I'm at here. Now, some of you, doesn't matter, you get A's all the time, and you guys, you rock, from day one, from academics, and you understand the game, and you understand what you need to do. And that's great. And for you all, just pushing yourselves. And in this class, I designed this class like a university class. So it's the same sort of class that you'd be taking at a UC, like UC Berkeley or UC Santa Cruz, where I transferred to, or at a CSU, or even Stanford, or even Yale, or here in the UK. I structured the class that you are taking, that you're finishing, in that way. So if you got an A, if you got a B, you could be strong in knowing in yourself that you can also succeed well at a four-year institution. A lot of you are looking to transfer, and the hardest thing when I transferred was sort of the self-doubt, the sort of feeling in my mind when I transferred was like, I ended up rocking Shasta College. I ended up, getting on the dean's list, all these things, doing well. First semester was behind me, able to move on and then transfer. And I wasn't sure if I was really going to be able to be up to speed with the level of intensity of academia in the 4 year where I transferred. And I remember that too. And so I developed this class the way it is, so that if you get an A in this class, that you could be sure for yourself to understand that in yourself that you can transfer. There's lots of resources financially. There's lots of stuff to help you with other things going on in your life. But when it comes down to it, you have to know in yourself that you could do it. And if you do this well in this class, I guarantee you, and I know you can do well at any four-year institution. And I challenge you to go for it. Don't just, go for something close and convenient, but go to something that's a goal of yours. Make this like part of your reality. I thought even back then, someday I'd love to move to England. Someday I'd love to be part of this university system. It seems so far and it seems so impossible. I'm a blessing from God that I'm able to be here and do that in my mind. But it took a lot of tenacity and hard work. And I think that's something, along with learning history, along with learning any subject, you got to learn that in yourself. It's kind of like going to the gym for your mind. And sometimes you hit the wall. Sometimes you hit the wall at the gym, trying to lift something, or through any sports, or through just life in general, hitting the wall and pushing a little further. And it's the same in an academic classroom. So you had those moments. You could think back in this last 8 weeks where you might have hit the wall and thought, you know what, I just can't do it this week. And either you were able to come back and do it, or you were able to push through it and do it right on time. But we're at the last day, and you should be proud of those moments you did that. If you're in that position where I was my first year, where you're getting that D or F, use this as just this awesome learning experience and push that forward for the next time. If you take this class with me again, I'd welcome you back with open arms, and we'll rock this class if you come back. But if you take a different one, just pushing through that and just knowing in yourself that you could do it at Shasta, and then also just knowing, if you do this class well, I did not make this easy for you for a reason, that you can also do well and have the confidence that you're doing well at any four-year institution in the world. I know it. Just want to leave you with that, and just take a moment, before you're getting into the exam or finishing stuff on it and submitting it and doing the final discussion. Just take a moment just for yourselves and just say, you know what, dang it, I did it, And this class, the reading you did, the work, the other classes that you've been doing, either in the ACE program or whatever else, just take that moment and self-reflect for yourself amongst the chaos of your lives. Some of you have some crazy stuff going on, but focusing on one thing and having control of one thing, like this class, is an awesome and powerful thing. And I wanted to just focus on that completely, putting history aside and having you walk away with that knowledge of yourself, because those are the things that you remember. Please stay in touch. I'm always here as a resource for you, and I just hope for the best of you. I pray for the best for you, and continue to go for academic goals, keeping them high and pushing the limit and reaching that goal. And I want to hear about it when you graduate from Shasta, when you transfer and graduate somewhere else, or if you get that certificate and get the job that you want. Whatever it is your goal, do it. And I know you can.